Big news just dropped. The complete payment schedule for March 2025 has been released, and I've got all the details you need right here. Are you wondering when your specific payment will hit your account? Confused about why some people get paid on different days? Or maybe you're trying to figure out if there's any way to get your payment earlier? Don't worry, I've got you covered with everything you need to know about your March 2025 Social Security benefits. Before we dive into the specific dates, let me tell you why this information is so crucial. Planning your monthly budget becomes so much easier when you know exactly when your benefits will arrive. No more guessing games or checking your account multiple times a day hoping to see that deposit. Plus, with inflation still affecting prices across the board, knowing precisely when you'll have money available helps you manage your expenses more effectively. So let's start with the standard Social Security retirement benefits. If you started receiving Social Security before May 1997, or if you receive both Social Security and SSI benefits, mark your calendar for March 3, 2025. That's a Monday, and your payment should be deposited directly into your account on that date. Why the specific date for this group? Well, the Social Security Administration has maintained this schedule for years to help distribute the workload of processing millions of payments. Now, what if you started receiving benefits after May 1997? In that case, your payment date depends on your birth date. This is part of the SS's strategy to spread out payments throughout the month. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th of any month, you'll receive your March 2025 payment on Wednesday, March 12th. Have you noticed how they always schedule these payments on the second Wednesday of each month? This consistent scheduling helps recipients plan their finances more reliably. For those with birthdays from the 11th through the 20th, you'll see your deposit arrive on Wednesday, March 19th. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st of the month, your payment is scheduled for Wednesday, March 26th. Have you ever wondered why Wednesday is the chosen day for these payments? It's actually strategic. The middle of the week tends to have fewer banking holidays and allows time for any payment issues to be resolved before the weekend. But what about supplemental security income or SSI benefits? I know many of you rely on these payments, and the schedule is a bit different. For March 2025, SSI payments are scheduled to go out on Friday, February 28, 2025. Wait, did I just say February? Yes, you heard that right. Since March 1st falls on a Saturday, the SSA follows its regular protocol of issuing these payments on the last business day of the previous month when the first falls on a weekend. Isn't it nice to get that payment a little early? Some of you might be receiving both Social Security retirement benefits and SSI. In these cases, you'll typically receive your SSI on that February 28th date, and then your Social Security payment will follow on March 3rd. Have you found that managing two separate payment dates can sometimes be confusing? Many recipients tell me they use specific budgeting strategies to handle this split schedule. Now, I know many of you have questions about possible delays. What happens if there's a problem with the banking system or if a payment date falls on a federal holiday? The good news is that March 2025 doesn't have any federal holidays that interfere with the scheduled Social Security payment dates. However, it's always good to be prepared for the unexpected. If you don't receive your payment on the scheduled date, the SSA recommends waiting 3 business days before contacting them, as sometimes there can be slight delays in the banking system. Speaking of banking, did you know that direct deposit is now used for nearly 99% of all Social Security payments? If you're still receiving paper checks, you might want to consider switching to direct deposit. It's more secure, eliminates the risk of lost or stolen checks, and usually means you get your money faster. Have you been hesitant to make the switch? Many seniors tell me they were initially reluctant, but found the process much easier than expected, and now appreciate the convenience. Let's talk about another important aspect of your March benefits, the recent cost of living adjustment, COLA, that went into effect in January 2025. Are you still adjusting to the new payment amount? This COLA increase was designed to help Social Security recipients keep pace with inflation, but I know many of you feel it still doesn't fully cover the rising costs you're facing. How are you managing your budget with the current benefit levels? For those of you receiving survivor's benefits, the payment schedule follows the same birthday-based system as retirement benefits. For example, if the deceased worker was born between the 1st and 10th, survivor's benefits will be paid on March 12th. Have you found it difficult to keep track of which schedule applies to your specific situation? This is one of the most common sources of confusion I hear about from viewers. Now, what about disability benefits? Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, follows the same schedule as retirement benefits, with payments distributed according to your birth date on the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of the month. However, if you began receiving disability benefits before 1997, or you receive both SSDI and SSI, your payment will come on March 3rd, just like the early retirement recipients. I've heard from some viewers who are new to receiving Social Security benefits and are confused about the payment amounts they see. Remember that your first payment might be prorated depending on when you applied and were approved. Additionally, benefits are paid in the month following the month for which they are due. Does that make sense? For instance, your March payment is actually for February's benefits. Some of you have asked about Medicare premiums and how they affect your payment amount. If you have Medicare Part B premiums deducted from your Social Security, this will be reflected in your March payment. The standard Part B premium for 2025 is deducted before your benefit is deposited, so the amount you see in your account is already adjusted for this expense. Have you checked that your Medicare deductions are correct on your benefit statements? It's always good to review these details. For those of you who receive Social Security benefits while continuing to work, remember that your earnings may affect your benefit amount if you haven't reached full retirement age. The earnings limit for 2025 may reduce your benefits if you exceed certain thresholds. Have you calculated how your work income might impact your benefits this year? Now, I know some of you are caring for children or adult dependents who receive benefits on your record. For child beneficiaries, the payment date is based on the primary beneficiary's birth date. So if you receive your payment on March 19th, any children receiving benefits on your record will also receive their payments on that same date. Let's address another common question I receive: can I change my payment date? Unfortunately, the SSA doesn't allow recipients to choose their payment date. The schedule is determined by their established system, and payment dates are not negotiable. Have you tried to budget around these fixed dates instead? Many successful retirees tell me they've adjusted their bill payment dates to align better with their Social Security deposit schedule. For those of you who bank with credit unions or smaller financial institutions, it's worth noting that sometimes these organizations may take an extra day to process direct deposits compared to larger banks. If you've noticed your payments seem to arrive a day later than friends or family members who bank elsewhere, this could be why. Have you experienced this with your financial institution? What about international recipients? If you're receiving your Social Security benefits while living abroad, your payment schedule remains the same. However, international bank transfers can sometimes take additional processing time. The SSA recommends that international recipients use direct deposit to a bank in their country of residence rather than having checks mailed, which can take significantly longer and pose security risks. I also want to address a concern many of you have shared about scams targeting Social Security recipients. Unfortunately, these scams tend to increase around payment dates. Remember that the SSA will never call you unexpectedly to ask for your Social Security number, banking information, or any form of payment. They also won't threaten to suspend your benefits if you don't provide information or payment immediately. Have you or someone you know been targeted by these scams? The best protection is awareness and skepticism toward any unexpected contacts claiming to be from the SSA.